Hey y'all, this week we are kicking it off with a video breakdown. You may have seen this video floating around the internet over the last couple of weeks. It's been going absolutely viral. I reacted to it, filmmakers posted it on their Instagram, and also eye candy. Today we're actually breaking it down with the filmmaker himself, Mohammed Al Nashmi, and it's actually wild what he did. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you guys do, please subscribe and share this with anyone you think would enjoy it. All right, let's get to the video breakdown. We'll watch it one time through, and then I'll have questions about it.
We met, we thought, studied, we taught, we boiled, we cut, we learned, construct. We opened, we cracked, sold, we smashed, create, they ate, expanded, we baked. We cooked, some more, focused, we worked, we fought, we burnt, developed, we grew, resolved, we flew, continue, improve, discover, we move. And let the magic happen.
The rhythm of it. What was first? Was it the music? Was it the voiceover? How did that rhythm come?
As I told you before, I'm a very music-driven director or filmmaker. So especially for this project, as I said, I had this idea, I jotted down everything. And then I knew that I wanted to do a video that had music, shots, voiceover, and sound effects that all blended in together. So in order to do that, I had to have the first thing that I needed to do was find the music for it. This was me just, it took about 2 weeks to find this music. And when I'm saying 2 weeks, it took a long time to find this music. So 2 weeks, I was just trying out different things I was finding online. I remember when I first heard this music, I was like, this is the one. And I wanted that feeling for myself. I needed that feeling where I was like, okay, this is it. I needed to have that because I knew this was the most important thing, because I was going to base off the whole concept of this commercial was going to be the music. So I heard some music which were decent, which were good, but it didn't give me like, I can imagine it. It didn't give me that feeling. When I heard this, this was I think his name was Harry Lightfoot, Heir to the Throne. When I first heard it, I was like, okay, because it had a very nice and a cadence, or like it had a very nice pace to it. I knew my video had to have 3 segments. It had to have a slow beginning, a faster middle, and then I need to have a chaotic end. I knew my chaotic end had to have music which was extremely powerful. So I needed something that resembled that in the music itself. And this music was incredible. It was perfect for me because it had a soft beginning, a slow beginning, but it had a very nice tune to it. And then a faster middle, and then an extremely fast and chaotic end to it. So that the first thing was the music when I had this the video.
As you can see, music plays a huge part in any filmmaker's career, just like with Mo and his viral video. So if you guys are looking for copyright-free music, please check out Uppbeat, the sponsors of today's video. They have thousands of tracks that you can choose from, all copyright-free, and you can actually even sign up for free. Just use the link in my description or the pinned comment, and you guys can start making your viral videos today. All right, let's get back into the breakdown. Did you trim any of the music? Like, did you sharpen it up or like cut pieces out to like tighten it up a little bit to get it to exactly the amount of time you wanted?
So just to give you a background of the project, when my brother talked to me, so he first told me that we are doing a 10-year anniversary, and his restaurants are incredible. So he was like, we're doing this 10-year anniversary and we have to do something good. But when he first gave it to me, he was like, we want to do a 20-minute documentary just of us talking and all of that. So they wanted a documentary for it. And when I told you I had this idea, and I thought that this project is this is perfect for this project. And at 10-year anniversary, you need to have something that basically resembles that 10-year anniversary and showcases it. When I sat down with him and his partners, they were like, yeah, we want 20-minute documentary. And I was like, guys, I will not take this project if I didn't do this video the way I want to do it. It's risky, but don't do a 20-minute documentary. It will not work. You want something that showcases what you were doing for the 10 years. And I told them that, let me do what you guys did in all 10 years, all within 1 minute and I think 20 seconds, or 1 minute 22 seconds. So I told them, no one's going to watch the 20-minute documentary, but let me do something that people might watch within the 1 minute 22 seconds. In the beginning, they were skeptical. They were like, no, we still want to do a documentary because there's a lot of things that happened. But I told them, no one watches 20-minute documentary right now.
Yeah.
So that's where I tried. So I'm very close with my brother, Faisal. And I was like, Faisal, believe me, let me do, because I've had this idea. Let me do it. I think this is perfect for this project. Let me do this project. Let me do exactly what I want to do. So he's like, okay, give us like kind of a plan for it and all of that. When I searched for the music, I trimmed it to 1 minute 22. I did like kind of a pre-production on it. I did the music, and I told them of what I still didn't have a storyboard for it, but I was like, you gotta believe me. So this is gonna be the music. It's 1 minute 22. I have my light beginning in the beginning of the video, and then it gets faster, and then it's just gonna be chaos, because that's what he did in Kuwait, because his restaurants are incredible. They went very, very big. They have a lot of branches and all that, so they're doing incredibly well. And that chaos that I wanted to show is what they're doing in Kuwait, and probably in the GCC area, is they're going very big. Everyone knows them, and I wanted to showcase that as the power they now have in Kuwait in terms of the restaurant business. So when I tried to tell them, and it's extremely difficult to try to explain it to them, because I have this idea in my head, but it's so difficult to tell them what it was gonna happen. So I was just like, guys, just trust me. It's risky. I told them it's gonna be extremely risky, but I have this idea. I just want to do it. I just want to do this video. And I think because my brother and his partners as well, because I've done videos before, and they love my videos as well. So they're like, okay, we won't do the 20-minute documentary, because I also told them, if this video doesn't work out, we'll do the 20-minute documentary. I will do that. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But let me do this. Let me do this video. You won't regret it. So yeah, that's when I did the video of the music to 1 minute 22. I made them listen to the music, because my brother is also very creative. So when he listened to the music, he was like, I was telling him, okay, this is where's the chaos. He tried to envision it, and that's where I sold the idea. I think the music really helped me sell the idea to them.
Wow.
In terms of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
The music really sold that. And also,
Yeah.
trust me is a crazy way to tell someone to really believe. Like, good thing it was your brother, and it was like, and like that he's a little creative, because trust me, to someone who's not creative, is a whole it's a whole other thing. It's like, God damn.
Because
Wow.
his partner, his one of his partner, and he's a incredible guy. He's more of a business side of it, so he didn't want to do the video on the way I want to do it. He really wanted to do the documentary. And the issue was, I told him, okay, I might do the documentary after, if it didn't do well, is if I did that 20-minute documentary, I would have to pay for my money for it, to do that 20-minute documentary. So I was risking me paying a lot of money to do that documentary for them. Yeah, but as you said, it was difficult for me saying trust me, because even when I said trust me, to be honest, yeah, but I just had a track, and that was it.
Yeah, you're like, hey guys, I got music and I got faith right now.
Yeah, exactly. Just trust me, man. Just trust me.
That's gotta be
my
your
mind is
tagline
going
now.
crazy.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God.
Yeah,
How do they feel?
so
How do
it
they
was-
feel about it now? Like, have you talked to your brother? Have you talked to the partners? What's
It's,
the
I think-
verdict?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, I don't have to say anything. It went, because we just wanted to go. I mean, viral in Kuwait, but I mean, they've seen that there now. Al Makan's name is, because the video went viral in the film industry, but still, when people are talking about the video, and I told my brother Faisal, I was like, the good thing is, a lot of people, they're not saying Mo, your video, they're saying the Al Makan video.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I was so happy that the name of the video stuck to the video. It's not Mohammed Al Nashmi's video, it's Al Makan's video. So it went internationally viral. So people are in the US, in Brazil, and all around the world, they're saying the Al Makan video. And I told Faisal, and he was so happy that their name is now went international with the video itself. So I mean, they
Yeah.
when you're paying for a video, in our day now, the main thing for success, one of the most important things is it going viral. So when you have it going viral internationally, I think that means it's a successful video, and they were extremely happy with it. They were so happy with the video
Oh
itself.
my gosh. And you also had to film on their off hours, no? Like overnight. You mentioned that, I think, and I read it somewhere.
Yeah. So
Like between like
That's-
between like 11 and like 7 in the morning or something like that. God.
yeah. So
damn. But you can't
it's-
take
I
business
think
away
if-
from them, right?
Yeah, I can't really take, because it's I had to bring in my camera, because I rented lights, I rented the camera, I had to do a lot of things. I needed their chefs to be on there. But I think that's the main thing. If I didn't have the passion for that specific idea that I had in mind, I wouldn't have done it like going after hours. So I had to come in at 10:30 at night and leave at 7 in the morning, because they start working at 7 in the morning. So it was extremely exhausting, the most exhausting project I've worked on. But I think, as I said, if I didn't have the passion and the motivation to do that idea, I wouldn't have been able to continue with the project. But it was difficult. I'm not
Oh.
gonna say it was easy. It was extreme, because this was the most detailed project I've ever done in my life. So everything had to be exactly how I've written it. Not just that I'm going between these early hours to 7 a.m., working between these hours early morning. I had to be very up and aware and ready to shoot, because as you've seen the video, there's a lot of things going off of the music. It had to be exactly how. So I couldn't really doze off. I couldn't be really tired for it. I had to be really awake. And the issue is, I'm not a coffee drinker, and I don't drink Red Bull, and I don't drink.
So you're
So
just
it was-
going
it
off
was difficult.
faith. You're just like, "Aw."
exactly, faith, and I'm trying to make the motivation push me through it. And I think the motivation really helped me stay up during those hours.
That's how many
So,
days?
yeah.
How many days was it? Did you actually?
It was
Run this.
5 days, five
5
consecutive days.
Damn.
Yeah, so 5 days I had to work within those hours.
When they're doing the actions, some of these
Yeah.
actions, are you playing the music in the background so people can kind of get into the mood and the movement?
The video, there are pieces of the music where it's just done, which needed just one shot, but there are shots that require 2 actions to have. So you hear like this shot,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Let's
this
play it.
shot,
Studied, we taught, we boiled,
Because
Exactly.
yeah,
So-
some there's 2 beats and then others it's 1 beat.
yes, sir, exactly. So for that knife shot that completed the rotation, there was actually 3 actions. So the knife cut had to be on the done, and then the
studied, we taught.
Oh, and then the up.
so yeah, so there's 3 actions is done. So they all had to go. The first hit, the second. So as you hear the music, done. So I had to play it back when I was filming, and especially that knife shot, because the chefs there, some of them didn't have the music ear, as I say, so they're not very musically. So it's difficult for them to catch the beat. So even when I played it back, it was difficult for them to know that, okay, done. So
Wow.
it was very specific. So there are some things I had to, especially this shot was very difficult, because I had to repeat it. I did this shot multiple times until I got it off the beat, and I did some speed up in
Beating
the
up.
edit.
Yeah,
just
I was
to
gonna
go off
ask
of-
about that.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
kinda cut
To
no. How many shots? How
Yeah,
many
yes.
times? How many takes is this? You have like a
think-
shot like this.
this was around maybe 28 or 27 shots
Jeez. To get
to
it
try
like perfect.
to
Yeah.
do that.
Oh my
yeah,
god.
to get it perfect. Yeah. That's why most of the shots I had to play the music on set, because as I said, this was a good example, is you had the actions have to go off of the music. So as I said, dun dun dun, you have the first action, second action, third action. It's not just about doing the action and like a beauty shot. It has to be
Yeah.
specifically very detailed to the music to make it work.
Yeah, that's why I felt like you would have to play like music videos, when you play the music
Yeah,
so they can get on it. I feel like you would have to do that because everything has to
exactly,
be so pinpoint on the actual
exactly.
beat. Damn, what was the hardest
Yeah.
shot of this whole thing that you had to do?
To be honest, they were all hard shots
Oh yeah.
because of how, because this was one example of me doing the 27 takes. Another thing is I had to edit on set. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
the difficult thing is after each shot that I did, I had to do like a quick edit. So I had to film, remove the memory card, put it on. This was the first project that I edited on DaVinci Resolve. So I had this was the first project that as I used markers on the edit. So I had the music and I had markers of exactly the duration of each clip for each scene. That shot I had to put it and then put it in between those both markers to see if they fit the duration of my
Yeah.
shot
So the
of that
markers were on the
specific.
timeline. You're on
They
the
were
time.
already on the timeline, yeah. So I had the
Wow.
markers already on the timeline. I had to check that they fit the duration. Sometimes I need to speed up because sometimes when you speed up to maybe 120%, 125, it shows that you sped it up. So it's not a nice effect to see when you speed it up. So yeah. So there's a specific, let's say, limit to how much you can speed up before it looks that it's sped up.
Yeah, before you could kind of
So
see that
that's why I had
blur.
to.
Mm.
Exactly. That's why you had to yeah, do it. And as it's a good place you stopped on this shot because also this shot took a lot of time as well because you had to hit.
Creates.
Wow.
So you had to hit. You had two actions. You had to hit, and then
then
you
the
had to
turn.
move at exact time.
Oh, because there's like
And
there's also a beat where there's a pause and then the turn.
yeah,
It's not like he's just going
exactly.
like that. That is crazy.
Yeah, yeah. And the shot before that, there was also three motions to it.
That's
So
fun.
you can see my hand. I think a problem with the shot is I used my because as you can see, I had my Apple Watch on there. I ruined the thing that I kept my watch. I should have removed it in the shots.
Yeah.
So it was my hand. So
Oh,
it's
this is
easier when
your
I was doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
you
It
know,
was
'cause you
easier when
know.
I was because I know the shots that I want. So I turned, I pushed, and then he had to hit off of that last beat. So it was just please try to hit it off of the last beat. And he kept on messing up, and we had to redo the food itself. So that took a lot of time. So
Oh,
you
I
had to
didn't
cook
even
it
think
again.
about that.
Yeah, so you had to cook it again, and then I had to wait. And then that's why the shoot took a lot of time, 5 days, is because there were food when they're ruined and I didn't get it correctly, he had to redo it. And they can't really do a lot of food because that's expenses on them. So we had to I had to wait, he had to do the food again, and then we start and shoot again. That's why this shot took a lot of times to do because he kept on messing up the last hit. He had to redo the food as well. So yeah,
Dude,
that's another
that's
thing.
insane that I didn't think about in like the food if it was ruined. And then because
Yeah,
in my head I'm like, oh, you probably would just make enough, but then like you said, let's say you get it in one shot. Now they just wasted whatever the
exactly.
ingredients. Ah.
Yeah, so that's why the shoot took 5 days because it was extremely difficult in terms of timing and all of those. Yeah,
So I'm just trying to visualize after you had this idea of doing this, having everything in the center. How did you go
yeah,
about visualizing the storyboard and what was actually in the shots? Were you like,
yeah.
okay, this circle shape is roughly, or was it just everything had to be in the center, and then let me go into the restaurant and let me kind of jot down some of the things that you guys have? Is that like how do you visualize a storyboard at that point?
The first thing that I did was, as I said, because it's a 10-year anniversary video, it's difficult when I'm saying I'm trying to showcase what they did in 10 years within a minute and 20 seconds. That's where I came up with the idea of the voiceover being one-worded. So usually voiceovers, you try to put as much information as you can in a voiceover so you can get your message across. But I was like, okay, the music I had, it was so powerful in each beat that you heard. So dun, and the beat that it had was so powerful that I was like, how can I put 10 years in 1 minute and 20? I can't really say the whole thing. But when I heard the music, I was like, let me do one-worded voiceovers. So it was telling a story that they met, they thought about the brand, they studied, they taught. So it was teaching the chefs. So it was showcasing their story just by one words, because that's how I can get the message across in a minute and 20. And I thought it was so good, because it was, when I heard the music, I was like, I wanted the voiceover to be part of the whole video. And I think the main thing for this video is everything was a priority. So everything was primary. There was nothing secondary. So the music was a primary thing on for me, a primary key point. The voiceover was a primary key point. The visuals were a primary key point. The sound effects were a primary. So all of them, there was nothing secondary. So usually when you do videos, you might have the music as a secondary or a tertiary or a third kind of option kind of thing. You put it in the background. But all of these had to be all related to each other. So that's why the one-worded voiceovers were part of it, and that gave the story, and that provided me the thing to visualize the storyboard. So once as I said, they met, they thought, they studied, they taught. So it's just going off of their story. And once I had the voiceover, so the first thing that I wanted to do is, I told them that's one-worded, but I also wanted to be rhyming. So I think that made it even better to have that rhyming aspect within the voiceover itself, because we also did both the Arabic and English version. Is once you have the rhyming, you made it kind of a music, like you had like just the same as that. A lot of people were saying, and I read a lot of comments, was it's ASAP Rocky's
the
the
that's what I
praise
got.
the Lord. And to be honest, when I first did it, I didn't have it in mind, but when, because I remember when I finished the video, I showed it to my friend who's a DOP. He was like, "Oh, the video's incredible," and I loved the reference of A$AP Rocky's
Rocky?
praise the Lord, and and I was like, "Oh, you know what? Wow, that's actually the same." But I didn't have it in mind to be like the A$AP Rocky. Although I love the song as well. So
Same. That's crazy. I didn't realize it until people talked about it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it has that thing." Wow.
That same thing, yeah. So yeah, once I had that voiceover, I wanted to be rhyming. I wanted to be part of the video. Once I put their story, one-worded voiceover, rhyming, that's where I visualized the storyboard. With putting the each voiceover had its own shot.
So for the voiceover, did you come up with it? Like you wrote it and you sat down and you're like, "Oh, these are all the words I want to do."
Yes. So when I came up with the voiceover, so and the book that I had where I was brainstorming the project, the thing that I did is I just went on Thesaurus online and I tried to find, for example, teaching. I wrote teaching, so I couldn't use teaching. When I put in Thesaurus, I thought taught. So okay, taught works extremely well. So it was just me jotting down many different words of their story, and then using Thesaurus to find the best word that relates to that, to make it rhyming, and the voiceover to make it have a nice audio in terms of that. So yeah, each voice had to be changed, had to find synonyms for them and all of that, just to make it work and go off of that rhyming beat.
So did you have the script and the voiceover prior to shooting? Like you kind of knew? Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So all of the audio was done before shooting.
So everything was done before shooting. The sequence was I did the music, and then I did the voiceover script, and then I did my shot list of the shots that I wanted, and then I did the call sheet for myself, and then the shot. And I actually did this was the first time that I did the sound effects before actually shooting the video. And it was weird for me, but I needed to do the sound effects before, was because, as I said, the sound effects go with the music, go with the voiceover. So as you can hear, the sound effects, they start with the first beat. So when I put the sound effects, I knew that, okay, the knife had to go in a way, the pencil moving, the way I moved the mug. So it was the first time for me actually doing the sound effects. Of course, when I finished and doing the post, there were some tweaking and all that. Yeah, of course. But it was the first time I've ever done the sound effects before I shot the video.
Studied, we taught. we boiled, we cut, we burned.
That
Um,
is crazy that you did the sound
Yeah.
effects before. Like, no, that's so. You're
Yeah.
like, you planned it so like so meticulously, and that it just
Yeah.
probably the easiest part was like just shooting it and putting it together. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
because you
Yeah,
planned it.
exactly. Yeah. It
What?
had to be. So yeah, so usually when you shoot a video, I think especially for food, sometimes you just do beauty shots and okay, I can do beauty shots to fill in some gaps to add if I had a gap in the music. For this specific video, I could not shoot any beauty shots because I had to be exact to my shot list and true to my shot list and could not defer or do something else because it wouldn't make sense to the video because there's a lot of match cuts happening.
And the beauty
So
shots would
yeah,
just, I feel like it would take away from it. This is so
yeah,
different. It's so different. It's like the food isn't the main character. That's why. It's like the actual story is the main character. So
exactly.
beauty
Yeah,
shots, I
yeah,
felt like wouldn't. Oh man.
yeah. Wouldn't work. Yeah, exactly. So that's why it had to be extremely detailed. I had to do a lot of homework. That's why this was the longest. Even though I'm working as a director and with a crew, and we do pre-productions and all of that. But this project was the biggest pre-production I've ever done by myself because I needed to finish my homework and my pre-production to the tiniest detail before the shoot, just to make sure that it works.
From when you had that idea, and then your brother messaging you till posting, how long was that?
From my brother talking to me until the day of the shoot, it took around, I think, maybe around 2 months. Around 2 months working on the pre-production, maybe a month and 25 days, a month and 20 days, something
Wow,
like that.
just pre-production.
The reason why I'm saying it took a lot of time because it needed to be, as I said, very detailed. And I did the sound effects before, and I did
Yeah.
the shot list, and because I think my shot list was 112 shots that I had, so I had to think about what props I needed, what the action. So I had to write down what the action was, the duration time that I had, the music that I had to link it with, what exact dish that I had. So I had to sit down with my brother, and because I didn't know the whole item menus that he had, so I was like, okay, I had this voiceover that he says crack, but I told him I don't want to use the egg because I have an egg shot later. What else do you have a crack? So he was like, oh, we have a sourdough that cracks. So so I had to sit down with him to get these different things that I
Yeah.
wrote down. There was a lot of work.
Yeah,
There was
yeah, yeah.
a lot of work
Even
before that.
way
Yeah.
more than even I knew it was a lot of work, but this is even way more than I thought. Like I didn't think of that. The cracking of the
Yeah.
sourdough is
Yeah.
that's genius.
When I first wrote crack, you would think egg
Egg.
in the
Yeah.
beginning, and I had egg in the beginning, but because I used egg later, I had this egg shot in my mind where it cracks,
This
which I
one.
had it later in this. Yes, exactly, this one. Yeah.
Is this
So
the only
that's
VFX
why.
shot that you have in here?
Yes, that's the
God.
only one.
And this is
Because
what you
to be
imagined
yeah,
in your head? You imagined
yeah,
this the
y-
exact shot?
the crack, because this crack shot. To be honest,
Yeah, that's
I didn't want this video to have VFX. So the crack shot, it took me maybe 6 hours. I was trying to do it practically. So I
yeah.
tried to do it different ways. So I had an idea of cutting the back of the egg and then having a toothpick where I just cracked it in front. I tried ways of cracking it by hand. It was 6 hours that I didn't use, to be honest. I used like
Hold on. 6 hours for
uh
the egg crack for just this?
the egg crack. I was trying different ways of doing the egg crack. I had like a half a day of just me doing ways, and it didn't work out. I couldn't do it.
Dude, at least you
Then I
tried
was
it.
like, you know what?
Experiment.
Yeah.
Experiment. Right?
And it was yeah, it took a lot of time just trying out different ways. I
God
think
dang.
when you're saying the most difficult shot, this was the most difficult shot,
That
and it
wasn't
didn't
even in it.
get in the video. And it wasn't even in the video. Yeah.
And
That's why
people
I
wouldn't
had to
notice. Oh man.
yeah,
That's
yeah, I had to
nuts.
give up, and that's why I went with the VFX. But the shot itself, there was an egg. The egg was shot, but it was just adding the VFX of the crack.
Of the crack.
That's where I got
yeah.
help
Because I was
from
like, the texture looks
help
great.
from friends.
Like of this. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's where I got help from a friend just for this to help me do the VFX on this shot. Yeah. But yeah, that was the longest shot. Yeah, I got, and it didn't even get in the video. But yeah,
Dude, that's
yeah,
insane, actually.
yeah.
And all the lighting setups, like, did you have a specific, was that also planned too? Like, you knew how you were lighting each part of the restaurant or the food? Or was that kind of more run and gun or like more like off the cuff?
More running gun. I think that was a bit more flexible
Yeah, yeah.
in that sense, because usually lighting you see on set what looks good. I'm not the best in lighting, but I think I got better at it when I'm seeing working as a director, when I see my DOP usually lighting setups and all that. So I got a little bit of experience.
Do you have a favorite shot from this?
I think I have my favorite sequence, not my
Yeah,
favorite
yeah.
shot.
Okay.
So my favorite sequence was when I first started the chaos
Oh, like
shots. There was this thing after the eye when the music picked up suddenly. Then I had this sequence of everything moving downwards. This shot I had where match cuts of everything moving
the
downwards,
movement.
downwards. And then I had this thing, and I'm very proud of, because I felt like I came up with, was because I was moving, everything was going downwards. I came up with the name of having a slingshot. So everything was moving downwards, and I had this shot with the ladle going down where I had the movement of something going down and back up. So it
And
was
then
like kind of a slingshot of having everything going down and then back up. So it's kind of like a sling. From the top, everything was going down. So here,
uh,
here, and then I hit, and this
here.
is the ladle going in
Oh,
and then
and then the
back up.
burger.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and then I matched cut it with the burger, and then the burger fell down again. Then had to go back to the hammer to do that. So then
And then even that turn. There's like just so much movement.
yeah. So everything had to go make sense in terms of action, direction. They had to go the same direction, and that's when I said that my favorite sequence was going from down, 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 and then the ladle was going down and back up. So it was all going in the same direction of match cuts, everything hitting, and then going to the next shot, to the next shot, to the next shots, and then the ladle going in gave me the reverse direction, which is going down and then back up, and that's where I match cut with the burger. So the whole video had to go in the same direction of each shots.
Yeah, yeah. That's what made
In
it.
terms of
That's
that,
like another extra layer to it that makes it
yeah.
like feel good. Wow.
Yeah. The items that I used were also pre-planned. So even in that shot, when I was going down and then there was this like honeycomb kind of thing, I wanted to use that. When I first wrote it, I was like, okay, the honeycomb, there was a drink. So I was like, okay, the honeycomb, and then I'll do like a pizza dough falling. But then I loved how it looked, the honeycomb itself. So I was like, let me do the drink falling and then me
Um.
dropping the honeycomb to match cut even in a different way. So if you see, yeah,
Yeah.
I was placing each shot after each other, just overlaying each shot over them. So at least it's easier on the eye to have it in
Yeah.
the middle. That's why each shot I have to put each shot over each other just to make sure that the shot after it and the one before it all were in the same position, and try to have the same size as the
Yeah. Yeah.
shot after, to make it easier on the eye, to make the match cut look even better
Did you
in
have a
terms of
set
that.
distance when you shot, roughly, like when you're shooting a
Yeah.
lot of these? And then you had to, I'm assuming maybe you had to scale it in or scale it out a little bit just to match it a little bit. But for the most part, you knew you had this like, okay, we got 3 or 4 feet from the top of this desk or from the kitchen table or whatever. It's kind of how you
Yeah.
measured it. Yeah.
Yes, people were shocked when I told them that this video was on a tripod. So the whole video was static. I shot it on a Red 8K. I had to shoot it on a high resolution camera. So I shot the whole video on 8K because I knew my movement, because I've done it before. I had experience. I love shooting with 8K because I love doing movement in post. So I think that's where people were shocked with it, because all the movements, I think, par a couple of ones. So these shots were all post. Everything was post. I was just moving the focus to have it to try to keep the focus on the item when there's movement on it. But everything was static. The lens, the camera was static, either on a mini crane or on a tripod, and everything was done in post in terms of movements. But as you said, the distance from lens to the
Tabletop
item
or
itself,
whatever.
yeah, it had to be similar in terms of that, because some items were bigger than the shot before it. So I had to compensate for that by moving my lens even further, because
Yeah, that
I
makes
can't really
sense.
have the shot of, let's say, a pizza dough, which is huge, and then let's say a honeycomb, which is smaller. So you had to compensate for that. So I had to push my camera even further up uh,
Yeah.
to make the sizes the same when
Was
I
it
do it
different
in
focal
post.
lengths that you had, or did you keep it all kind of at, or f-stop, sorry?
I had to change in a couple, but pretty much they had to stay, the same. So at least I keep the same, let's say, mood to the video. The lens I used in pretty much a lot of shots was 12 millimeter Laowa lens. So the good thing about the 12 mil is even when the distance changes, it's keeps it in focus. So you're still good. It's when I flip to the 24 mil or 35 mil is where you had to like change the focus, and I had to do it like really quickly, and I had to repeat it a couple of times. These things are just me trying out different ways. And I think being a filmmaker before is me trying out these different things. I tried doing focus, I tried doing DOPing, I tried lighting, I tried directing. So I had these experiences before filmmaking. This really helped me with shoot, was because I had this experience. I'm not the best, and I'm not even great at it, but I have a basis on it that I can work off of, which makes it looks good, or doing that in that sense. So yeah.
Any more passion projects you have, like in your head, in books right now that you're like, I need to get this itch out that you have?
I don't know about that. I'm a type of filmmaker director that as I said, and I keep on saying it, I love to experiment. I love to come up with new ways, and I love transitions. I have like this kind of idea of doing, but I'm not sure if. But it's just I like it just came out, so I'm not sure if I can.
Don't worry.
I have to build on it or something.
Don't worry. Yeah. I just want to know if we could expect more from you real soon, because I feel like the
Okay.
moment you get an itch, I feel like it's over.
Yeah,
It's like, okay, you gotta, and like maybe
but
companies are gonna start hitting you up. Like they see, they're like, oh,
yeah,
maybe we
hey,
need to, you know.
once you're passionate about something, and then you reach a level where, like I did with this video, and then it went viral. I think that's every filmmaker's like thing, that it's like a thank you to myself. And I've done videos, I've done efforts on a lot of different videos, but I've never had like people were proud of me for like, oh, you did an incredible video, but I've never had this feeling inside of myself where I was like, I'm proud of myself. But when I did this video, I was like, I had all this, as I said, these comments and all that. This was the first time in my life where I was like, yo, I'm proud of myself. It's
Wow.
and it's not saying that as I'm being very cocky, but I think it's nice for a person to be proud of themselves when they're like, look how far I've come. Like I started from filming with my camera to producing, like doing the things that I wanted to do, and producing like things like this. It's nice to be proud of yourself. It's nice to give yourself some credit. It's the first time I've had people inspired by something I did, which is such a nice thing to feel. It's such a beautiful feeling to have. As people from these places telling me, we're inspired by you, we love what you did. It's a masterpiece. Things like this give you a nice push to create more things. Because as I said, this was the biggest thing I've done in terms of how much effort I've put into a video. So once you have that from people, and it's a nice feeling. I love it, and hopefully to more projects as well, like that.
Tune in next week. I'm actually dropping part 2 of this podcast where we talk to Mo about his filmmaking beginnings and also how he feels about going viral over the last couple weeks, which is wild. But for now, you guys can actually check out this podcast episode right here.